Hello, 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 YouTube. This is Dirty Trucking, and home in Detroit. Back where all my trucking ventures start and end. Right here in my own apartment. You want to know why? Because I've been terminated again. Yes, that is true. Another trucking company terminated me. Risinger Brothers terminated me. Told me it was because the driver called in, alerted them to my YouTube, when in fact, I believe it was because Risinger Brothers knew I was coming in there not taking that crap, knew they'd been lying to me, and they wanted to get rid of me. So, back home in Detroit, in search of new employment. But what this video is going to be about, I'm sorry, I got Art Porter on in the background on my TV, you know, baddest saxophonist ever. May he rest in peace. He drowned over there in Thailand at the age of 35. This is a bad man. Let me give you a little listen real quick. Everybody know I love jazz. Baddest saxophonist ever. Gone too soon, man. Gone at the age of 35. 1996. Over there in Thailand, a boating accident. Now this way you play a saxophone. I love jazz. In case y'all don't know who that man is, that's Mr. Art Porter. Come out of Little Rock, Arkansas. It's a bad man. Bad man. I love me some jazz. If I play the instrument, it'd be a bass or one of them horns. Won't be a saxophone. Probably be a flute. But I'm getting to the bass. It's a bad man. I hate he gone. I love to hear what his music is today. It's a bad now. That's the way you play a saxophone. I'm telling you. Get ready to turn this down and get into my video. Okay, I'm back. As you know, this Dirty Trucking. I'm back home, terminated, in search of a job. Because of Risinger Brothers and their little ridiculous story they come up with that I'm not believing. But this video is going to be about the lease and these documents they get us to sign. I had a driver comment on one of my videos that he was actually at Risinger, and what happened to him did what I thought was going to happen as far as that maintenance account did happen to him. He had a substantial amount of money in his maintenance account, and when he quit, they kept it. He didn't get it back. So this video is about the leases. These leases, and I don't understand why the government, the IRS, all these entities that's supposed to oversee and govern the trucking industry to make sure they are doing proper by their drivers. This industry has the highest turnover rate that I've ever seen for in my life. They're constantly hiring. How can you constantly hire every day? You have a class. Some of them have 2 and 3 classes a week. How can you do that? How can you afford to do that? You want to know why? Because you have a high turnover rate. That means you're not retaining your drivers. And we shouldn't be held accountable for that. That shouldn't be going against us because we company hopping. You can't retain your drivers because you're doing stuff illegal, especially if you're lease purchase. This video is about the leasing and these documents that they get you to sign. I've peeped what they've been doing. They've been wording this stuff in your lease. They get you in these orientations, even not with just in trucking. In general, here with the leasing apartment, anything you got to sign. If something strange start happening, they start taking your money, ripping you off, something weird start going on, it's because they done worded it in the lease. That's the only legal document they can actually get you to sign to give them some validity about what they're doing, something valid. about what they're doing. They can pull out, hey, see, you signed this here. It was in the lease. No, it was in the contract. It was in the document. No. You didn't tell us that's what it meant. And I've peeped that. That's what they've been doing. They have been wording these leases to where they take money off the drivers. And then they stand there in orientation and talk to you like this is something they supposed to be able to do. Ain't nothing they doing is illegal about it. And that this is the way things supposed to be. And you supposed to be accepting of that. And you coming in, you a trucker, you not thinking this company's going to lie to you, but they're lying to you. You're not supposed to word that stuff in your lease. Just like this little weird stuff I'm talking about happening in my apartment. I mentioned in a previous video that while I was at orientation at Risinger Brothers, I got an alert to my phone that somebody was in my apartment at 11:30 at night. But when I viewed the video, it was just a black screen. And I'm like, how did they get a black screen? So I tested it. So what they did was my camera's right there on that shelf back there. And that shelf is jet black. So whoever the individual was actually got in the apartment. However they did, crawled in on the floor. However they got in here, I'm saying they crawled on the floor. Either you had on something that you just was real slim and slid up the wall over to the camera. And then when you tried to lay it face down, you triggered the camera. And then by that time, it was face down on the shelf right there, which is jet black. So I triggered the camera and recorded it. And it recorded the exact same jet black screen. So while I was at Risinger Brothers, I believe that alert came to my phone. I don't know if it was Saturday or Sunday. It was the day before I actually started orientation. I believe it was a Sunday. No, it was on March 8th. That's when I got the alert. On March 8th. That's when I got the alert that somebody was in my apartment. But I couldn't get my camera to view into the apartment because my camera has night vision. It's a lot of lighting in my apartment. I've showed you my apartment. You see these windows and stuff here. It's a lot of lighting at night. So there's no reason that camera should have just recorded a jet black screen. It should have showed inside the apartment and just being at night. So my theory and what I thought happened was happening. So this is the first time I actually got that alert. So somebody was in here. But this is what they do with these documents you sign, like the lease. My lease could have had something embedded, worded in there that I signed for to allow these people to come here and do that. You know, you think you sign in the standard lease. They tell you it's a standard lease, but they got these old tricky words in there. And I noticed it says something about, do you consent to the government coming in your apartment? What the hell do you mean the government? Huh? No. But usually when I put no to something, they do the opposite. So I don't know if that was the tricking wording to get them to be able to do this, but it's wording in the lease, and it's the way they put it, the way they trick you out your money or able to do this stuff. And I have no idea why Congress, the White House, the FBI, all these governing agencies, all these big-time agencies is not up on this. If you claiming we signing for them to do it, okay, and we looking at the lease and we don't see nothing out of the ordinary, then it's got to be something in the lease. Some tricky wording. And that's what these trucking companies are doing. I'm back here terminated at my home looking for another job because I stood up for something I knew they was doing wrong. And then they tried to, they claimed it was a driver that called and alerted them to my YouTube page, but they had no business terminating me from my YouTube page. Then I talked to Oida. That conversation, it made me thinking. She talking about, well, they can terminate you, regardless if you know or not, these companies and, you know, that at-will employment law. So when I started thinking about that, at-will employment law, that word employment means to employ. Mean I'm a worker. Okay. It started puzzling me. How are you using that against me in trucking if I'm lease purchase? Lease purchase don't work for the company. I'm not technically viewed as an employee by the IRS. So how are you using at-will employment law on me? What, shouldn't it be business law? Because I'm running a business through that trucking company. I contracted with that company to lease a truck and allow them to run me off the freight that they have to generate income, money, through my business. But yet they tell me about this at-will employment law. That's another thing they abuse, the at-will employment law. That law allows these jobs, whether you lease, purchase, or W-2, they come up with the most ridiculous stuff to terminate you, fire you. And it says in the law for any reason. Why would you have any reason to fire a good worker? Why would you sit up there and come up with the most dumbest, ridiculous stuff I've seen for my life being done on these jobs to terminate? One, because they possibly discovered you was doing something you weren't supposed to? Or two, they weren't going to tolerate it. Which one was it? Or was it both? Risinger Brothers knew I wasn't going to tolerate it. I'm glad they terminated me. Thank you. I'm glad. Because I'm not going to stay there knowing that you're going to be taking money from me and I don't have any say-so over it. You're going to take my money and use it like it's the communitive pot to service other drivers' vehicles. And then if I came in with an issue, you're going to take a look at it and let me know if you was going to fix it or not. But I'm supposed to be buying a truck, leasing through you to buy a truck, and you taking my money. So not only was I paying lease money weekly for the lease, the money that you were taking from me from the maintenance account, that means I was paying almost $900 a week just for that truck because you taking the maintenance account. It's non-refundable. And that's what y'all need to be on the lookout for. These old tricky wordings, these documents. And OIDA says something that peeped home. Hey, if you could request a copy of the lease beforehand, get it. If you got somewhere legal you can send it, an attorney or somebody will take a look at it before you sign it, do that. Because I'm all for the government requesting, demanding that these fleet companies that offer a lease purchase program, or you're using an outside vendor to supply you trucks to lease to the drivers for any kind of down payment or whatever however you got it arranged, you need to supply your lease to the agency that oversees this trucking industry. Every company that has a lease purchase program, you need to give them a copy of your lease so they can go through your lease to make sure you don't have any tricky wording, anything to swindle money off the drivers, anything that's allowing you to escape your true bracket in the IRS with Social Security and any other else that you're supposed to be paying into, contracting me as a lease purchase operator that you've been avoiding because you're masking me as lease purchase. You made me sign. I signed a contract thinking that's what I was coming in as. But as far as what I can do, the control I have there is none. So I'm really company hiding under the covers of lease purchase. So I'm back home, terminated again, because I was on my YouTube complaining about something I knew that wasn't supposed to be going on. This is what they do. You talk about change. I am the change, but you're not changing nothing. People like me get terminated, booted off the job. They come up with all kind of bogus excuses to get rid of me. Why? Because I found out something they weren't supposed to be doing. Told them I wasn't going to tolerate it. Let them know I wasn't going to tolerate it. So they found a way to terminate it. But that practice needs to end. How are you using the at-will employment on a lease purchase operator who is technically viewed as you're not an employee? You're running your business. This is business to business. How are you using at-will employment against a business owner? A business. That's what I didn't understand. See, they take these laws and they do these old tricky wording. And then when you get on the phone talking to even I've had attorneys just almost pretty much with their words that they tell me when I tell them what happened, they rush me off the phone. Let me know they ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't gonna do nothing. They want to hear the story. But they always got some little excuse. Why'd you sign it? What lesson did you learn? Why am I being taught a lesson? Swindling me out my money. You gonna wait till I'm 50 to teach a swindling a lesson, swindling me out my money at 50 when I'm supposed to be retiring? A lesson to get me in debt. What you mean, what kind of lesson did I learn? What kind of lesson are you learning, attorney? I had valid cases here. These people should be sued. But you rushed me off the phone. So now I'm thinking to myself, maybe these attorneys I'm contacting, maybe you're not capable of winning the case. Maybe my conversation with you was useless in the first place. Because that's the way you make it sound when I contact you. Same thing with my Chrysler case. You just swept it under the rug. It was a valid case, should have went to court. Had that case went to court, I guarantee you, the majority of the stuff that's happening now wouldn't be happening. But I'm here in Michigan. They didn't want that to go to court. Same thing. Attorneys not wanting to take the case, or I had an attorney that I did finally find an attorney that took the case, but they were kind of dogging her out. They were lying to her, and she wasn't aggressive enough that I want her to be. So, and then I wasn't going to have the money to hold out to fight this legal battle because I had lost my job and I had to sell my home, and I was living off the money from the sale of my home. But that case should have went to court. So I decided to file a case on my behalf, on my own. I'm thinking they going to see this. What, this is wrong here. Why are they doing it? Nope, that ain't what happened. But this is the same thing that's going over in trucking. These some clever people. You cleverly lie. You cleverly word your leases and documents and stand there and get us to sign it, thinking it's something typical. We ain't thinking you done put something in there shady that's going to swindle us out our money. Even though you standing there telling us, and it sounds like you swindling us out our money, but you making it, but the way you put it to us, like it ain't nothing about it. And you doing, what you doing ain't illegal. Where you put it. So we sign. We run with you. We find out you was lying. You taking our money. Now we got to quit. But in the process, after we quit, when we quit, so goes that money that you done got off of all these escrows accounts, these maintenance accounts that they establishing to take drivers' money. So beware of lease purchase. Lease purchase is really not a good thing. It's just an avenue to get money off the drivers, to finance these trucks, to continue to pay for these trucks that they done bought from these dealerships that's sitting on their yard. They ain't got drivers in or can't keep drivers in because they whole company policy is bullshit and the drivers are leaving. That's why they can't retain drivers. Same thing happened here local. I get on these jobs. They start playing these games for me to quit. Because Centra here is a big part of it here with that DOT physical. And that's going to be another video I need to be doing about that DOT physical. The stuff that they doing. It costs people their job. I don't know if these people are jealous. What are you work at Concentra? You a jealous nurse or something? Why do you care if I'm a trucker? Why are you participating in this stuff? All these fleet companies with their dispatchers and workers. You are a participant in this activity. This crooked stuff. You're participating because you work for that employer. You are telling us what they telling you to tell us, to swindle us out our money. So I'm back home, back at the original starting place. I'm dirty trucking, talking about the dirty business of trucking, whether it be over the road and now local, because it's dirty business local too. All this stuff should have been prevented long before I got in the trucking industry. Long before I done been terminated several times, lost several trucks, swindled out of thousands of dollars from all these companies. This stuff should have been prevented. They got people in place supposed to prevent this. They hear all these videos, they see them, look at them, laugh, think it's funny, but you're not doing nothing. These videos ain't funny. These videos is to inform you that something is happening in the trucking industry that shouldn't be going on. So, I'm back home in Detroit, terminated. I ain't got no job, ain't got no income coming in. How am I supposed to pay my bills, my rent? Now I got to look for employment. Somebody tried to label me crazy, make me crazy, try to turn me into being crazy. They were commenting on my YouTube. Don't nobody want to hire no crazy driver. You know where that came from? It came from Michigan and Warren Truck Plant with that dirty mess they did to me. Because that company tried to say I was crazy. harassing somebody. I wasn't doing nothing. It was all of a lie. It was a lie. Every job I go on, they do the same mess. All of it. Same pattern of what happened to me at Chrysler. All because the courts, if the courts had to let that mess go to court, and I was able to sue them, and they'd have been held accountable for what they did, pretty much none of this would be going on. Because they would have had a case to refer to put a stop to it if somebody else tried to do it. But they didn't. I couldn't believe Michigan did this to me. My state, my city, where I live, was upstanding citizen. Wasn't bothering nobody. Tried to label me crazy. So, and I got somebody going around, I don't know who this individual is, going around, finding out what jobs I'm on, causing problems at the job, telling them I'm crazy, informing them, talking about I'm crazy. Just like that YouTube commenter, talking about I was a nut job. Don't nobody want to employ nobody crazy. Where you getting that from? You know about my Chrysler case? What I'm talking about ain't crazy. You'd be amazed if these drivers was to come forward. How many drivers would come forward with what wasn't happening to them? Complain about it. Contact your state senator. Get in touch with Congress. File a better business complaint against these people. If they're doing something that's a safety violation, contact the federal motor carrier. File a complaint with Department of Transportation, federal motor carrier. Don't let them get away with what they're doing. Now, it may not resolve anything at the moment or get your money back. But you're leaving a paper trail. So if they finally do investigate this, we got thousands of drivers with these complaints, with the same pattern of stuff happening over and over again. Don't just let them terminate you for no reason. If you feel it was unjust termination, file a Better Business Bureau complaint. That's a business that terminated you. Don't let them get away with it. That goes on record. If they terminate you for disobeying them, telling you to do something that's a violation of safety, contact the federal motor carrier. File a complaint. Let them get in their ass. Don't let them get away with that. They setting you up. That's your license. Don't let them get away with it. Contact your state senators, the governing agencies over the trucking industry. Find out who they are and start complaining about what they're doing. These people are ripping you off and you working for them, smiling, coming in there, leaving your home, and they taking your money and you going home with less money than you should be going home with and probably no money. And then when they terminate you, what do? They terminate you in a strange state. You ain't never at your home when you get terminated. You in a strange state. Now you done bought all this stuff for the truck. You been living out on the truck. You done spent up all your money. And they usually wait till you done spent up all your money. And then they terminate you. File a complaint. Complain about what's going on. Stop signing these tricky leases. They're putting the words in the lease. If you hear it when they say it, because you will stop and pause because something sounds shady. Don't go there. If it sounds like they finna rip you off, they are going to rip you off. Don't go there. You be better off staying home. Just get you a local job. At least you won't be out there in a strange state when they terminate you or something go wrong and you ain't got no money to get home. Now you make the decision. It's your choice. But they wording this stuff in these leases. These documents they get people to sign. And I'm calling out the overseer of the transportation industry. Who are you? Why don't you know about this? Why ain't you putting a stop to it? We getting ripped off out here. I'm tired of being terminated. Coming home having to look for a local job. They doing little shady stuff local. Got to concentrate with the DOT physicals, but participating in it. You causing problems, limiting my physicals. I used to get 2-year physicals until I got it trucking. Trucking. That's going to be another video. That old shady mess they doing with these physicals. Because you got haters out here going to these concentric, especially if you in your state going. And these people know you, aware of you, know you on social media. You complaining about what they doing. So they trying to do something to put a stop to you talking. And they figure if they keep you broke in a homeless state or in jeopardy of your housing, You gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop. I don't care what you do. What you doing is wrong. Terminating me is wrong. Everything you've done to me is wrong. And I'm back home taking my little income, risking it, going in the casino, trying to supplement my income, trying to find work. And what the casino doing? Taking my money too. All you do is take. You're not trying to give me nothing. You're not trying to do nothing for me. As far as I'm concerned, you've been trying to keep me homeless. You've been trying to keep me without money. You've been trying to keep me oppressed. Beware these shady leases. Beware these shady documents, because they wording this stuff in these leases and they're getting you to sign it. They need to be held accountable for it. This dirty trucking at home this Sunday in search of employment. Don't know how long it's going to take because I'm battling some unknown person going behind me talking about I'm crazy. They sitting up here determining if I'm employable because of some lie somebody going around behind my back saying. And that individual or individuals need to be held accountable for it. I ain't no mean person. I ain't being mean. You've been lying to me, and you don't like that I'm standing up for it, confronting you on it. That's all that questioning your authority. That's what this all about. And then the fact that I'm this color doing it plays a big role. Oh, don't say it ain't, because had I been somebody else doing it, things wouldn't be going the way it's going for me. Talking about my life messed up. If it's messed up, you messed it up with that lie talking about I was crazy. You're going to be held accountable for that. And I'm tired of you going behind my back before I get to a job, in search of a job, while on a job. Starting that old crazy mess, trying to make it look like I'm crazy because I'm telling about the crazy mess. I'm going to peep that too. Your day is coming. You're going to be held accountable and you're going to get caught. I ain't nowhere near crazy. You the crazy fool. This dirty trucking at home, in search of a job. This Sunday, making my little video for y'all. I don't like negativity. If you're not aiding to the cause, you got some insight on the cause, or you got something to help prevent what's going on. Them the only people I want to communicate with. Or if this isn't happening to you. I respond to most of the people that post a comment. Long as it's not nothing trashing me or talking about I'm crazy. Because this is legitimate stuff going on. And it needs to be vocalized. It needs to be known. Because I'm tired of them hiding behind the trucking doors, doing this to drivers, luring them from their home, and you end up back at home. I'm back at, this is ground zero for me, where everything begins and ends in trucking. This is where I begin the search of my trucking job. This is where I end up back, if I'm able to maintain my housing. When I get terminated, fired, or something goes wrong, this is ground zero for me. Right here. My own apartment right here in Detroit. Ground zero. Dirty trucking. Back here in search of a job. You want to know why? Unjustly terminated again. Because they think I can't get on YouTube and talk about stuff that's unjustly being done to me without being terminated. Well, you know you're doing something wrong. There's no need to terminate me for it, because my voice going to become louder after I leave your company. Now you done pissed me off. And I'm trying to find everybody I can contact to report you. See if I can get something done. These drivers need their money back. You need to stop swindling. I want my money back. All that lease purchase money, I don't get nothing back from that. I'm in horrendous debt. You need to be held accountable for it. You need to be paying for it. This dirty trucking. I'm out here trying to help you all. I'm getting terminated. My cause is your cause. This is for the benefit of every driver that has been through this. I'm trying to get the word out. They better recognize who the help is. The help is me. And I'm this color. Because you want to know why? I'm the one they should have been listening to in the first place. But yet I got somebody going around me, dirty. Some dirty person calling the company. Doing some dirty business behind my back. Then I got other people going around trying to label me as crazy. Want to find out where I'm working at. about get my trucks taken, accusing me of taking. I've been accused of everything and I don't know why. They even accuse me of taking trucks. How do you take a semi-truck, start your own business under that company's name and get loads with their EOD log? How do you do that? But I've been accused of taking trucks. I've been accused of stealing. I've been accused of everything. You want to know why? Because they know my voice is loud. Somebody listening. So now you're trying to make it look like I'm crazy. I ain't crazy. I'm the help. And I'm going to get the word out. This mess in trucking gonna stop. You gonna stop swindling off of drivers. You gonna stop terminating them for unjust reasons. You gonna stop stranding them, taking their money, leaving them without money, putting them in jeopardy of being homeless or without housing. It's gonna stop. You wanna know why? Because dirty trucking on the job. Ta-ta now, dirty trucking, back at ground zero, in search of a job.